Good morning friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In this video, I want to discuss about the purpose of super keyword. So I sincerely request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. First, let me discuss the motivation behind the using of super keyword. Suppose let's take that you have the parent class called A and then you have the child class called B. In the parent class, you have written some p is equal to 10. Okay, now that p is equal to 10 will come to the child class. You know that, see, once you have defined a class B extends class A. What is it? It is a single level inheritance. The child class B is inheriting the properties of the parent class called A. So properties means what? The members, which is variables and methods. So what are the variables which are there in the variable A and what are the methods are there in the class A? So not in the variable A. What are the variables and what are the methods which are there in the class A will come to the class B. Okay. Now let's take that. If you again declared int p comma q. So now what you are doing? There is a p variable and having the value 10 which came from the parent class. Again in the child class, you are declaring a variable called p which is an integer type. And then you are writing p is equal to 100. Will it give error or not? See, in Java program or any program, inside a class, if you return int p, again if you write int p, then it will be an issue. But this p is from the parent class. This p is from the child class. But if you write system.out.println p, will it display the 100 or will it display the 10? What value it will display? It will display the value which is there in its own class. Always it will think about its own. See, even we are the human beings. First we will think about ourselves, then our family members, then our friends, like that. There is a priority, but first always ourselves. Am I right? So similarly, even this p is equal to 10 came from the parent class, but there is a p is equal to 100 from the class B itself. So if you write system.out.println p, the 100 only will be displayed. But where is this p is equal to 10? I want to print the 10. Then you can use the super keyword. I hope you have understood. The super keyword in Java is a reference variable to refer parent class objects. So with the help of the super keyword, you can access the super class members. Here members is nothing but variables and methods. To call the superclass constructor also. So variables and methods we can access from the child class of the parent class and also a constructor also. How it will happen? What is the actual way? What is the syntax? All these things I will discuss with a simple program. Now let me define a class A. I hope it is visible for you. Inside the class A, I have the variable p and I have assigned the value is equal to 10. You know that it is an instance variable. Similarly, I have a method called display. Okay. Inside this display, I have written system.out.println. Okay, out.println, and I have written the p. And let me end the method. Let me end the class. Now let me define the class called B, which extends or derive or inherit the properties of class A. Now inside this class, I have defined another or declared two variables called p comma q, and I have written p is equal to 10. Okay, p is equal to 10, and then let me write q is equal to 20. Okay, or let me write q like this so that it will be looks like a q. Otherwise, you will think that it is 9. Okay, then I have defined some method called show. And inside this method, I have written system.out.println and I'm printing the p value. Similarly, I'm writing system.out.println q value. Okay, q value. Let me close the method called show. Let me close the class. Now what I will do is that I will write the driver class or the main class. So what is the name of the class I will give is, I will give the name of the class as super example. Okay, so you know that if the main class has the name called super example, you need to save this program as super example.java. Okay, super example.java. Okay, now inside this class I need to write the main method. So you need to write public static void main string args, or you can write AR, any name you can write it. Okay, public static void main string args. And then what I will do is that I will create an object for the class B. Okay, what is the syntax to create an object? Class name, object name is equal to new class name. Okay, then if I want to access the show method, I can write it as object name dot show. Okay, then if I compile and run the program, what will be the output? There is a p variable. P is having the value 10 here. Okay, let me make it as 100. Okay, p is equal to 100. And you know that the same p value comes from the parent class. Now here p is equal to 10, and even you get a method called display which has been derived from the parent class or inherited from the parent class. Even here also you have p is equal to 100. There is a confusion. Will it display the value 10 or will it display the value 100? It will display the value as 100 for you. Okay, and here it will display only q value 1 is the 20. So this program will give the output as 100 and then it will give the output as 20. Are you able to understand it or not? Now what I want to do, in the show method, even I want to display the p value 10 also. Am I right? So how can I do with the help of the super keyword? Okay, so how I will do is that, let me write the program. Okay, instead of erasing, okay, let me erase it and let me write it again. Okay, there is no issue. Okay, so what I will do is that here I will write system.out.println. I hope it is visible for you. Please don't mind if the font is too small, because I want to write everything on the board. Okay, but it should be display also, because there is a large board but I cannot use the entire board. Okay, system.out.println, the p value in class A, the p value in class A is what? It is super.p. So what you are doing, using the super keyword, you are accessing an instance variable from class A. Are you able to understand? Super.p. Similarly, if I write system.out.println, okay, again I hope it is visible for you. Okay, the p value in class B is, I can simply write p. Similarly, I can write system dot, okay, let me write it. I am not that much lazy. Let me write it. System dot out dot println the q values. Let me see, because only q value is there in the class B only. So the q value is, let me write q. Now let me close the method. Let me close the class. Now what will happen? Once you call this method called show using the object which is created from the class B, you can do it, because in the class B there is a method called show and it does not have the parameters. Here also it does not have any arguments or parameters. Then it will be invoked the p value in class A. Super. So super means it will look at the parent class. In the parent class, is there any variable called p? Yes, it is there. What value it is there? 10. So that 10 it will be displayed. Then system.out.println the p value in class B. You are looking at the p. Where is this p? P is here. What is the value? 100. So it will display the 100. Okay, the q value. Q is having the value 20. So that will be displayed as an output. So using the super keyword, we are accessing the variables which are there in the parent class. Okay, is it clear? If it is a multi-level inheritance, see, look at here, this whatever we are discussing, it is a single level inheritance. Like you have a class A and class B. Class B is the child class A is the parent class. But let's take that I have the multi-level inheritance. You know that multi-level inheritance. So you have a class A, has its some properties. Class B is extending with the help of the keyword called extends A. Then class C is extending or inheriting the class B. So using the keyword called extend. So class A is the parent class for the class B. Class B is the parent class for class C. Now if I write super dot something, super dot some variable name, then it will look at its own parent class. Remember one thing, it will look its own parent class. What is it? From C perspective, what is the parent class? B. If B writes super dot something, then it is nothing but class A. Are you able to understand? Super is nothing but immediate parent. Okay. Now, let me discuss how can we access a method. Just now we have discussed how to access a variable which is there in the superclass. Instead of that one, I want to access the display method. So how can I do? I can do it, okay, using the super keyword. Let me erase this one, and here I will write, okay, here I will write super dot, okay, where everything is lowercase. You know that keywords, every time you need to use the lowercase. So super dot display. And if you run this program, okay, see what happened. You created an object called ob1. Using the object, you are calling the show method. Then what is actually here it is happening, you are calling the display method in the super class, which is a class A. So in the display method, you are printing the p value. What value it will print? The p is having the value 10, so it will display the output as 10. Then system.out.println, the value in the class B is 100 will be displayed, and the q value is 20. So this is the way you can call the superclass members such as variables and methods using the super keyword in the child class. Now what we can do, using the super keyword, we can access the, or we can call the superclass constructors also. Let me write the program. So what I will do, I will define a class A, which is the parent class. Inside the class A, I will take one default constructor. I will write the entire program, then let me discuss for you. Then what I will do, I will declare a variable called P, and then let me take a parameterized constructor and let me write it as P is equal to A. And then I will write a display method. This does not matters a lot here. Okay, I can avoid this one also. Due to space, let me avoid this one. Okay, because my focus is with respect to the constructor only. Okay, let me end the class A. Then let me take the class B, extends class A. So it is a single level inheritance till now. Then what I will do, I will declare some P, Q, R, S. Okay, let me write lowercase only. P, Q, R, S, everything is in lowercase, and then I am writing B, which is a constructor. You know that B is a method, and the name of the method is same as the class name, so it is a constructor. And I will write int A, comma, int B, comma, int C, comma, int D, and then I will write P is equal to A, Q is equal to B, R is equal to C, S is equal to T. Then I will write a method called sum. Okay, void sum, and then I will write int res is equal to, okay, P plus Q plus R plus S. Then I will write system dot out dot println. Okay, the sum is plus res. So you are concatenating. Let me close the method. Let me close the class called B. Okay, now let me take the driver class super example, where S is capital and E is capital. Okay, and you know that the program should be saved as super example.java. Now in this class I will write the main method. So I will write public static void main, okay, string array. So here S should be capital, and let me take AR. Okay, then what I will do, I will create an object called ob1 for the class B. You know that class name, object name is equal to new class name. As I have a constructor which is a parameterized constructor, it is taking 4 values. Let me take 4 values here, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, then what I will do, I will call the method called sum using the object ob1. Okay, ob1 dot, see, dot operator. Now let me close the main method. Let me close the class called super example. Now what will happen, ob1 dot sum. Okay, and you know it, you have calling the constructor here. Okay, so first that part will happen. It will call the parameterized constructor called B, and it is having the 4 parameters. This constructor indirectly call the default constructor in the super class. So that's why I have written this statement. You know that if you does not write it, it will give an error. Okay, now what will happen, A will get the value as 10, B will get the value as 20, C will get the value 30, D will get the value 40. Then what you are writing, P is equal to A. So P will get the value 10 and Q will get the value 20, R will get the value 30, S will get the value, oh here I have written T, I should write it as D. Okay, I'm really sorry for it. Okay, then what you have done, you are calling the sum method. Then int res is equal to P plus Q plus R plus S. So which is 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40, which is 100. That value you are displaying. So this program will give the output as the sum is 100. This is absolutely fine. But what is the issue? Look at here. What you have done, you have initialized the P is equal to A here, and here also you have initialized the P is equal to A here. Okay, suppose let's take that in place of only one initialization, let's take that I have initialized 2 variables P comma Q, and here I am taking a constructor which has 2 parameters int A comma B. Then I will write P is equal to A, Q is equal to B. Okay, and let me close the main class also, class A also. So this is for closing the method, this is for closing the class. Okay, this is absolutely fine. What is happening here? You have written P is equal to A, Q is equal to B. Here also you have repeated that statement, P is equal to A, Q is equal to B. Suppose, let's take that you people will say, sir, it is only 2 statements, why should I worry? But if let's take that 100 values you have already initialized in the class A, again if you are initializing them, then you are not using the code reusability feature, because inheritance will provide the code reusability feature. That is why you are inheriting the properties, am I right, from the parent class. So instead of writing this statement again, what I can do is that I can call the super. Okay, I can write the super, and then I can pass the a comma b values. Then here I can write r is equal to c comma s is equal to d. Okay, now let me close the constructor. Now what will happen? What will happen is that it will search for a constructor in the superclass, which is A, having the two integer parameters. So this is the constructor. So it will come here. What values it is passing? It is passing 10 comma 20. So here A value will be 10, B value will be 20. So obviously P will get the value 10, Q will get the value 20. So if you execute this program, everyone will think that the same output I will get. The sum is 100. This is absolutely wrong. Okay. What is the issue is you will get the output as 70. You will get the output as 70. Why this problem is happening? Look at here. You have written P is equal to A, Q is equal to B. So P will get the value 10, Q is getting the value 20. Then remaining R will get the value 30, S will get the value 40. This is absolutely fine. But the mistake you have done, again you have declared the P and Q values. So this P value and Q value will come here. As you does not assign any value, default values will come, which is 0. So this program will be considering the P value as 0, Q value is 0, R value 30, S value 40. So 0 plus 30 plus 40 is 70. So if you want to get the output as 100, you don't declare the P value and P variable and Q value again in the class B or in the child class. Now if you execute the program, you will get the output as 100. For better understanding, let me execute this program in the desktop and show the output for you all.
Let me define a class called A. Inside the class, I will define a variable int p is equal to 10. Then I will define a method called display. And in this method, I will display a statement called system.out.println, and I want to display the p value. Okay, or I can write the p value. The p value in class A is, okay, and I can write plus and then p. Let me close the method. So these two members, such as P is an instance variable for a class A and display is the instance method for the class A. Okay, now let me close the class. Now what I will do, I will define a class called B which extends the class A. So here what it is, class B is the child class, for class A. So I can say that class A is a parent class or a super class or the base class, where class B is the child class or derived class or subclass. Now what I will do, I will define again or declare the p variable with value 100 and q value with 20. So what I am doing, again I'm declaring the variable p in class B. You know that as class B is extending or inheriting the properties of class A, class B will get variable p having value 10 and also display method. Am I right? Now if I write a method, suppose void show, then if I write system.out.println, okay, the value of p is, I'm writing plus p, again system.out.println, if I write the value of q is, I can write plus, which is concatenation here, okay, plus q. Let me close the method called show. So you know that P and Q are the instance variables and show is the instance method. Now let me have the driver class or the main class. What is the name of this program? Super example. So the main class name should be super example. Okay. Now inside this class I need to write the main method. So I need to write public static void main and I need to take a one string array. So string args. Now what I will do, I will define an object or I will create an object for the class B. So what is the syntax for creating an object? Class name, object name is equal to new class name. Okay. Now what I will do is that I will call the show method using the object. Now let's see what will be the p value. Will the p value, it will display, look at here, class B is having now two p variables. Why? It got one p variable with value 10 from class A. Am I right? Class B, because class B will get the all the members of the class A. So it has a variable called p is equal to 10 and it also has the display method. So class B is getting that one. So class B is having the p value 10 which came from the class A and again it has declared p is equal to 100 in its own class in class B. Now here will it display 10 or 100? Already I have discussed it will display the value 100. Look at here, let me show. Here you will get the output as 120. If you want to see the output, let me save the program, open the command prompt, and then you know that all our programs will be saved in the desktop Java programs. Now let me compile the program, which is super example.java. There are no errors. Now let me run the program by giving a command called java super example. See, the value of p is 100, the value of q is 20. This is what I told you earlier. Similarly, if I write ob1.display, ob1.display. Now here what I will do, the value of p in class B is, okay. Now you can see what will happen. You will get the output as the value of p in class B is 100, the value of q is 20, the value of p in class A is 10. Okay, let me show that output. Let me go to the command prompt. I will not clear the screen. I will compile the program again. And now let me run the program. Java super example. As I said earlier, you got the output as the value of p in class B is 100, the value of q is 20, the value in class A is 10. This is what the output we got. Okay, now what I want to do is that instead of calling this display method, here I want to display here only in the show method or in the class B itself, I want to display the p value as 10. Even I want to print the 100. Similarly, I want to print the value which is there in the variable p at the class A. To do that one, we can use the super keyword. So I will write system.out.println. Okay, the value of p in class A is okay. Then I will write plus super dot p. Okay, super dot p. Let me close this one. Okay, I hope you are able to understand. Let me save the program and let me go to the command prompt. This time I will clear the screen and let me compile the program by giving a command called javac super example.java. There are no errors. Okay, and now let me run the program. Java super example. See, as I said earlier, I got the output as the value of P in class A is 10, the value of P in class B is 100, the value of Q is 20. So, by using the super keyword, you can access the what? The variables of the parent class from the child class. If you want to access or display them, you can use the super. Okay, similarly, instead of writing this one, I want to call the method which is called display from the show method itself. Look at here, from the show method I want to call the display method which is there in the class A, which is a parent class. So here what I can do, I can write super dot display. Okay, look at here what will happen. Okay, let me give some space so that it will be clear for you. Let me save the program as I said earlier. Let me compile the program again. Let me run the program. See, as I said earlier, we got the same output. The P value in class A is 10. The value of P in class B is 100. The value of Q is 20. So, my point is that using the super keyword, you can access the variables and methods of the parent class, or you can call them. Is it clear? See, you can simply call them using the object of the child class, but I want to call them using the super keyword. That is also possible. I hope you have understood. Now let me introduce the constructor concept here. Okay, so what I will do is that I will declare the variable P. Okay, and then what I will do, you know that we need to construct a default constructor. Then I will take one parameter constructor. Okay, and then I will write P is equal to A. Okay, P is equal to A, I will write. And then what I will do here is that, here let me remove all these things so that it will be very much clear. Let me remove these comments, all these things. Here also let me remove this 100. Okay. Okay. Now what I will do, I will declare the two variables called P comma Q, and I will remove the statement, and I will take a one constructor. And you know that what is a constructor? Constructor is also a method which does not have a return type, but the name of the method should be same as the name of the class. Now here what I will do, I will write int a comma int b. Okay, and then I will write P is equal to A, and then Q is equal to a B, and then what I want to do here is that, what I want to do, I want to pass the values. Let me pass 10 comma 20. Okay, then what will happen? Then what will happen is, okay, what does it remove the Q value is something. Okay, let me write that one. Somehow I have removed this statement or deleted this statement. Okay, I want to display these values. Oh, it is there here. Okay, fine. Now let me remove this super dot display all these things. Now what I will do is that I will run this program. Okay, I have saved the program. So what are the changes I have done? Let me discuss again with you all. You know that whenever you are creating a parameterized constructor in the child class, then this one indirectly search for the default constructor. Otherwise it will, if it does not write this one, it will give an error. So as I given the default constructor, this program will not give any error, and I have introduced the one parameterized constructor in the class A and one parameterized constructor in the class B, and here I am passing the values 10 comma 20. Then what will happen here? You will get A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20. That you are writing here. P is equal to A. So P will get the value 10 and then Q will get the value 20. Okay, that values you are displaying right now. So now let me save the program and then let me clear the screen, compile the program again as we have done the few modifications. There are no errors. Now let me run the program. Java super example. See, I got the P value in class B is 10, the Q value in class C is 20. This is absolutely fine. Now what I will do is that, what I will do here is, instead of taking one variable, let me take two variables, int a comma b, and here I will write, okay, int p comma q. Then you will understand. Here what I will do, I will take multiple variables, int a comma b comma c comma d. Let me take 4, and then I will write p comma q comma r comma s, and then I can write r is equal to d, okay, and then r is equal to c I want to write, okay, r is equal to c, then s is equal to d, and then I want to compute the sum. So I will write here void sum, and then I want to perform a statement here, okay, int result is equal to P plus Q plus R plus S, and then finally I want to display the sum. So system.out.println, okay, println, and I'm writing the result, the sum is, and then I will write plus a result, okay, plus a result. Let me close this one, okay, I have closed the sum method. Now what is happening? If you pass 4 parameters like 10, 20, 30, 40, now what will happen? It will compute the sum. If I call the method called sum, okay, instead of show, let me call it as sum. Okay, let me save the program. See, what are the changes I have done here is that, leave about this one, okay, class A. We will now focus about the class B. In a class B, I have defined one constructor which takes 4 parameters, and those 4 parameters I have assigned in the 4 instance variables called P, Q, R, S, and I'm computing the sum. Okay, now if I execute this program, okay, let me compile the program first. There are no errors. Now let me run the program. See, I got the output as the sum is 100. Why? Because P is having the value 10. Okay. Q is having the value 20. So 10 plus 20 is 30. If you want to see, let me write here. P is having the value 10. Okay. Q is having the value 20, R will have the value 30, S will have the value 40, because A will get the value as 10, B will get the value 20, C will get the value 30, D will get the value 40. Now this is fine, because 10 plus 20 is 30, 30 plus 30 is 60, 60 plus 40 is 100. This is absolutely fine. Now what is actually happening? Here what you have done is that you have written Q is equal to B. Okay, so now what is happening? In the class A, you have defined a constructor and you have initialized, or you have written P is equal to A, Q is equal to B. Again, you are writing such statements, P is equal to A, Q is equal to B. You can ask me, sir, as it is 2 statements, we can repeat it. What is the issue? But let's take that there you have initialized, okay, some 100 variables. Those 100 variables again you are initializing here. Is this an advantage? This is not an advantage. Am I right? In place of this one, if you can call the constructor which is there in the class A, then those two statements can be replaced here. Are you able to understand? In place of here, if we can call the class A constructor, okay, which is having two parameters. Am I right? In our example, it is having only two constructors are there, but I'm not talking about the default constructor. I'm talking about the parameterized constructor. So in the parameterized constructor, as you have initialized to, if I can call that constructor, I can avoid these two statements such as P is equal to A, Q is equal to B. Then how can we call? We can call with the help of super. Okay, then here what I will do, here I will write A comma B. Okay, then what it will happen is that it will search for the a constructor having two parameters in the superclass. Superclass is what? Parent class. See, in the parent class A, there is a one constructor called A having two parameters, and those two parameters also an integers. So here A will get the value, whatever the value you are passing. You are passing A value, but it is passing the A value. So in the previous one, A value is 10, and here B value is 20. So this is nothing but you are defining P is equal to 10 and Q is equal to 20 only. Okay, you are defining Q is equal to 20 here. Are you able to understand? Is it clear? So this is nothing but you are indirectly writing P is equal to A and Q is equal to B. The same thing you are doing with the super. Now let me save this program, and then let me clear the screen, and let me compile the program. There are no errors. It is absolutely fine. Now let me run the program. You can see I got the output as 70. Why we got the output as 70? Let me verify and show it for you. Here, what is the mistake we have done? I agree, we have written super A comma B. P is equal to A, Q is equal to B. But here what it is happening? It is happening P is equal to A, Q is equal to B. How we initialized? How we initialized here int A comma B? No. So what is actually happening is that as you are redeclaring the P comma Q here also. So and you did not assign any values to them. So here it will get P is equal to 0, Q is equal to 0. You know that by default, if you does not assign any value, by default it will get the 0 and 0. So that's why you are getting the output as 70, because 0 plus 0 plus 30 plus 40 will be 70. Now what I have written, I have not declared the P comma Q again here. So I am just passing the A value and B value to the constructor on the class A, because class A is the superclass here. So it is simply like super A comma B, which is 10 comma 20. In the class A, the constructor A, which is having the two parameters, which is both are integers. So you are calling that one. So if you are calling that one, it is nothing but A is equal to 10 here, B is equal to 20 here, and then you are writing P is equal to A, Q is equal to B. Now P will get the value 10 and Q will get the value 20, and then R is having the value 30, S is having the value 40. So if you perform the sum, you will get 10 plus 20 is 30, 30 plus 30 is 30, oh sorry 60, 60 plus 40 is 100. Okay, now let's see, will we get the output 100 this time or not? Are we lucky or we are a bad luck people? We'll see it, that's one. Okay, what I will do again, let me compile the program. There are no errors. Earlier also we did not get any errors. Now this time we got the sum is 100. So what is the point here I want to highlight is that you should not declare the variables again in the child class. If you declare again, then what will you happen? The default values, which is 0 and 0, you will get. Am I right? So instead of that one, you declare the variables in the what? In the parent class and then use the constructor. Now you can ask me, sir, here instead of a comma b, I want to use p comma q, okay, p comma q r yes, okay, and here also I want to write p comma q, okay, p comma q, and here also I want to write r is equal to r, s is equal to s. Then what issue will happen? You will get an issue called instance variable hiding problem. So to avoid that one, we will use the this keyword. So you can write this dot r is equal to r, this dot s is equal to s. Okay, let me modify that one. Oh, sorry. This dot r is equal to r, this dot s is equal to s, and here also in the parent class also, which is class A, here I can write p comma q, and then I will write this dot p, this dot p is equal to p. Let me save it. Then I will write this dot q is equal to q, and now let me compile the program. So I will go to the command prompt. Again, write the statement called java c super example.java. Then I will run the program java super example. I got the output as sum is 100. I hope with these examples you have understood how can we use the super keyword to access the members of the parent class and to access the constructor of the superclass. If you still have any doubts related to this concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.